start the recording here. Okay, I know that I've seen you all on this before, but my name is Tyann Rowland. I'm the Adams County Extension Educator. I've been here about 7 or 8 years now, and I do a lot of livestock, both for 4-H and for adults. I do lots of livestock teaching. So today what we're talking about is ethics, and specifically we're going to talk about sportsmanship. And I think that would be a good topic for us because we're going to play a little game about the two different types of ways that you can be when you are in a competitive environment. Okay, so when you're competing against each other, there's two different ways you can be. So there's two reasons, the main reasons that people do extracurricular activities. And extracurricular means the activities you do outside of school, whether it's 4-H, whether it's sports, whether it's learning going to a music player or a music teacher, playing in a band, singing. Those are your extracurriculars. They usually involve a teacher. Judo, karate, all those are extracurriculars. So the main two reasons that people do it is one, to have fun, or to feel worthy or successful, okay? To build your self-confidence. So to have fun or build your self-confidence, or both. So there are two different things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about sportsmanship and gamesmanship, okay? Sportsmanship is exhibiting, in our case, livestock or animals with honor, okay? Exhibiting with honor. Gamesmanship is all about winning for gain or glory, okay? So those are the two different things we're going to be talking about. And as we play this game we're going to do in the chat, you will catch on pretty quickly as to the difference between the two, okay? So we're going to start. I'm going to read you a sentence, and you're going to tell me whether it is a good sportsmanship move where you are showing your animal with honor, or if it was a gamesmanship move, if you're all in it for just the gain or the glory or the win, okay? So we'll start with the first one, and you're going to put a S or a G, okay? S shows good sportsmanship. G shows gamesmanship, or all out for the win. So your first sentence is picking up a show stick that someone drops in the show ring. Okay, you're in the show ring and someone drops a show stick. Okay, if you pick it up for them and hand it to them, is that gamesmanship or sportsmanship? Put a G or an S. Very good. Okay, you guys are already catching on here. So that is sportsmanship. Very good. Okay, let's try the next one. Jabbing someone else's animal in the show ring. Sportsmanship or gamesmanship? What do you think, Thea? If you jab someone else's animal in the ring, that is gamesmanship. Yes. Okay, it could make the other animal act up. If the judge saw you, they could possibly kick you out for it. Being dishonest about an animal's age when you're registering your animal for fair. Sportsmanship or gamesmanship? What do you think, Brady and Colton, if you're dishonest about what you put for the animal's age? Yep, you guys are all right. I think you guys already have the hang of this. I'm going to do a few more just so you get the idea of it, and we'll move on to something else, but you guys are doing great. Okay, teaching a younger exhibitor how to clip and fit a steer. By clipping and fitting means by brushing the hair, by showing them how to do things with their animal. Sportsmanship, very good. Yes, it's sportsmanship. We'd rather that older 4-Hers and older kids help younger kids rather than adults do it for the younger kids, right? Okay, opening the gate for someone who has had a pig pinned, which means basically they went out to go wash their pig and are bringing it back and their gate's not open, and you open the gate for them. Is that sportsmanship or gamesmanship? Very good. Sportsmanship. I often think that adults forget these things and kids know it inherently. Showing an animal in the wrong breed or division and knowing that you're doing it. Sportsmanship or gamesmanship? Yep, gamesmanship. You're knowingly breaking a rule, and the only reason why you do that is to see if you could do better that way. Letting another 4-H'er borrow a brush. I really thought that this would be more difficult, guys. Guys are doing great. You haven't even had a hiccup yet. Okay, here's another one. Telling the judge that your animal weighs a different amount than what the card says. Oftentimes, the judge will come and ask you what your animal weighs when you're in the ring. Is it okay to add an extra 20 pounds on purpose? It's not. So that's gamesmanship. Very good. Okay, blocking the judge's view of another animal in the class and purposefully blocking the view. Yep, gamesmanship. Very, very good. Not letting your animal eat or drink water in order to keep its weight down. Yep, gamesmanship. Very good. Okay, last one, helping a younger kid carry a bucket of water. Sportsmanship. Very good. And our fair, what we do is we do something called the Gotcha Award. And if any adult or kid in our morning meetings has gotten help from someone or saw a kid doing something above and beyond, we call it the Gotcha Award. We Gotcha being good. And they get a special treat as they're nominated every morning. So that's how we try to encourage sportsmanship in our area. Okay. So you guys just whipped right through that. No problem at all. Let's see. I'm going to pick another activity for us to do here. Okay, you guys, basically what you just finished was the ethics level 1 sportsmanship activity. I'm going to see if hopefully you can see that. That's the one that you just finished. It's on your animal science lesson plan checkoff sheet. Okay, you should have gotten that in my last email. If you haven't seen what the checkoff sheet looks like, look for this title for you to initial and say that you did it, or have your mark it off so that your leader can initial that you did it with me, okay? And with that, since all of you are on the younger end, we're going to have to find something else to do that will fit what you need. Okay, we're going to do an activity called the Pillars of Character, okay? The Pillars of Character. So in 4-H, we have decided that there is, I believe, 5 pillars of character, and I'm getting to it real quick here. You can hear me thumbing through it here. Actually, there's 6 pillars of character in 4-H. Trustworthiness, be honest, don't lie, steal, or cheat, be reliable, be loyal. Okay. The next one is respect, treat others with respect, be tolerant of differences, use good manners, not bad language, be considerate of the feelings of others, don't threaten, hit, or hurt anyone, deal peacefully with anger, insults, and disagreements. Okay. The next is responsibility. Do what you are supposed to do. Persevere, keep on trying, always do your best. Use self-control. Think before you act and consider the consequences. Fairness, play by the rules, take turns and share, be open-minded, listen to others, Don't take advantage of others, and don't blame others carelessly. Caring. Be kind, be compassionate, and show you care. Express gratitude, forgive others, and help people in need. And lastly is citizenship. Do your share to make your school and community better, cooperate, get involved in community affairs, stay informed, vote, be a good neighbor, obey laws and rules, respect authority, and protect the environment. Okay, those are the 6 pillars of character that we hope that we all teach you while you're in the 4-H program, whether you're here for a year or you continue on for the next 10 years. Those are the things that we hope that you learn from the 4-H program. So with that, I'm going to read you a short scenario. How are we doing on time? We could get this, we're going to get this done fairly early because you guys are whipping through this so fast. Okay, let's see here. Our first scenario is this. It is December 23rd, which 2 days before Christmas. And when you go out to feed your show pigs, you notice that you do not have enough feed to last through the holidays. Okay, you and your father go to the feed store to pick up some more feed. Since your show is not far away, you can no longer feed the medicated feeds because of the withdrawal time. But the store clerk tells you that they're out of non-medicated feed. He offers to sell you the medicated feed at the same price. Should you feed the medicated feed? Okay. And a simple yes or no. Should you take the feed that they have, or should you find a different way to feed your animal for the weekend? Okay, very good. What you want to do is just decline the feed politely and let the clerk know that it's important to follow the rules about using medicines in the feed. So that's very good. Some ways you can get feed to get you through the weekend is probably ask a neighbor or someone else who has pigs if they have a bag to spare until you can pay them back another bag. So very, very good. Gosh, you guys are whipping through this. This was supposed to take much longer. Okay, well, let's work on something a little bit different. Let's talk about your goals for the year, okay? And this would be a good time because the ethics that we're talking about can fit into your goals. So in the chat, I want each of you to write down a personal goal of something you want to do or learn this year, and make it something that you can you can achieve. You can't guarantee that you're going to win first place this year, right? That's not up to you. That's up to the judge. But you can make sure that you work with your animal so many times a week that by the time you get to fair, you're in a position where you could possibly win first place because of how well you and your animal work together. So go ahead and think about it for a few minutes. I'm going to mute my screen for a minute, or mute this for a minute. And I just want you to think it out and then type in what your goal will be for the year. All of you are at an age where it's good to have 1 to 3 goals. And so go ahead and at least write out your first goal. Thea and Tom, are you still thinking? Okay, so Brady and Colton have got theirs down. We'll give another minute for Thea and Tom. Oh, I've got Tom's. Okay, we'll give Thea just a minute if she wants to answer here. Okay, so Brady, Colton, and Tom, while we see if Thea's still on here and wants to answer the question, underneath what you wrote in the chat, I want you to give me how you plan on achieving that goal, okay? How are you going to learn these things? How are you going to get your goat to walk with you better? How are you going to learn to clip your goat? How are you going to develop a friendship with your animal? Okay, what are you going to do to make those things happen? Thea, how many times a week are you going to work with your animal in order to practice showing? Let's break it down a little bit more. How many times are you going to walk with your goat, Colton? Um, Tom, yours is great. Be nice to it and snuggle it. What are some other things you can do to get it used to you? 4 times a week, Thea? Okay, that's a pretty good amount of time. It doesn't have to be for very long, but just doing it a little bit, at least a few times a week in the beginning of your project, and then every day as it gets closer to the end of your project for sure. And as it gets hot outside, keep in mind your animal's not going to want to do nearly as much if it's hot outside. So your best time to work with your animals when it's cooler in the morning or in the evening as the sun's going down and it's later. Those are the best times to really get your animal to actually work with you. Okay, Tom, something that you can easily do with your animal is to go make sure that you're feeding and watering it every night so it associates good food with you, as well as be the one to be out there and giving it attention, okay? Even brush him every day or read him a book, okay? All these things are things you can do to get them used to you, especially the sound of your voice. You know, you don't want your animal to be scared if you raise your voice, because sometimes you have to. If you were to yell near your goat because another goat got loose and you had to yell at the person to catch the goat, you would want to make sure that your animal is used to that, used to you raising your voice like that, so it doesn't freak out and jump away from you. Then you got 2 loose goats, right? Okay. So with that activity right there, you guys have just answered 1 page in your record books. If you go to your Z Suite and go to the goals section under your record book, you've already written out your goal and you've written out the things that you would put underneath your goal as far as how you're going to achieve your goal. So all you got to do is go into your book or write it down on a piece of paper, what you just wrote down, and then put it into your book, okay? You've already got we got 1 page out of the way right away. So we got 1 page of your book done today, and we got one of your actually 2 of your animal science lessons done today. The other ones that we did was the pillars of character. Let's see if I can get it up here so you guys can see it. The pillars of character, that's level 1 and 2. You can also mark that off under your quality assurance section in level 1 and 2. Okay, and keep in mind that if your leader wants to get a hold of me to make sure that you have done these activities, then here is my email address. Okay, and I'm also going to give you my phone number. Okay, it's also in all the reminder emails that you get as well. So if your leader wants to check up and make sure before they initial it that you did these activities, and some will ask that, then this is how you can, they can get a hold of me and I can confirm that you were on this call with us, okay? Since I don't know every 4-H leader in the state, this is the best way to do it. Okay, so it is 7:24. Like I said, this is going to be a short one. So now is a good time. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer, it can be on your project, it can be on your books, whatever you'd like. And I will go ahead and see if I can't open up your microphones so you can just ask the question out loud. So hold on just 1 minute. I'm going to see if I can fix that. Okay, so you are all allowed to talk. So now all you need to do is just unmute, push the mute button to unmute yourself to actually ask the question.
Ooh, cool. We
Tom,
don't have
a question?
questions.
Hey, Thea, go ahead. You should be able, it says you're unmuted, so go ahead and try to talk.
How do we introduce our pig with the whip?
Ooh, that's a good question. That's a really good question. So use it early and use it every time that you are working with your animal. So they get very used to it. That whip is just an extension of your hand, okay? You use it gently, okay? So that they're not scared of it, but they are annoyed by it. If you want them to move a certain direction, they'll know. Some different ways in order to get them used to that is if you're, for instance, you want them to go to the right, people will tap them on the left side with their whip, right? Tap them kind of close to the jowls, they'll tap them. Well, a way to get your animal used to that is you could have someone else out there or put a treat out there to the right. And so you have your animal go to the right and you tap them. And when they go to the right, they have a treat sitting there waiting for them. Or you give them a treat every time they do the correct thing. And so, and when you start out, it might only be one step in the direction you wanted them to. But if they give you that one step, then reward them. And then pretty soon they'll do more and more of what you ask for them. Especially pigs, they are so smart. They will catch on that really, really quickly.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I have a question too.
Okay, Tom.
In the chat, all I can see is what I'm typing in.
Well, the reason is you're using the Q&A portion at the bottom. And we were in the chat, which was.
I was in chat.
Well, then I'm not sure what it did because it gives you a Q&A and it gives you chat. And everyone else was talking in the chat and I was receiving your messages in Q&A. I'm not sure how to fix that.
The GNS part, that was in chat.
Some of your stuff was in chat for sure, yep. But the stuff that you talked about, what your goal was, it showed up in my Q&A box and not in the chat box.
Okay.
But you got every one of the questions, all of you got every one of the questions right on the first try for every activity. You guys whipped right through this.
Cool.
We're getting done early because of it. Any other questions?
No.
Okay. All right, well, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you go and have a shorter session, and we will see you next week, next Thursday, since this was a makeup session, and hopefully we have a little better attendance next Thursday, but we will, it's normal time, so we'll see. Thea, do you have a question?
Did you record the last meeting?
Did I record the last meeting? I did, but the first part of it is missing.
Oh.
So about 10 to 15 minutes into it is when it showed up, and that should be in your parents' email link. I sent it out last week telling you guys about this change, and it gave the links to all the YouTube recordings of this.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, I'm going to let you guys go for the night, and we'll see you next week. Good job. You guys got 3 things done today in 30 minutes. You can't get better than that.
Oh yeah, I can read more.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.